Welcome to Escambia River Gun Club. We are a family-friendly range with the goals of safety, learning safe firearms handling, and enjoying shooting almost any type of firearm, rifle, handgun, shotgun, and or black powder. The Escambia River Gun Club, ERGC, originally established as the Escambia River Muzzleloaders, ERML, in 1978, exists to conduct and promote safe recreational shooting activities and to maintain our rights bestowed to us by the Second Amendment of the Constitution. Safety is critical to our continued enjoyment of this uniquely American liberty. Please question anything presented here you do not understand. When you joined ERGC or renewed your membership, you were given a copy of the ERGC Range Rules by the ERGC Range Safety Officer, or RSO. If you did not get a copy of the ERGC Range Rules, please ask the ERGC RSO for a copy. Please take the time to read this document carefully. You are responsible for understanding and abiding by the information contained therein. Safety rules. Always treat all firearms as if they are loaded. You should visually inspect the firearm to ensure its status, loaded or unloaded, while controlling the direction of the muzzle by pointing it in a safe direction, i.e. towards the berm, every time you pick a firearm up. Establishing good habits like these are important for firearm safety. Continuing safety rules. Always keep the firearm pointed in a safe direction, never pointing at anything you do not want to destroy. Here at ERGC, that means either pointed up in the air above your head while transporting a gun not in a case to the firing line, or pointed downrange towards the berm if on a shooting bay or range. Handguns and holsters can be moved to and from the bays. Keep nothing but air between the muzzle and the target. Never allow your firearm to point at or sweep another person. Safety rules continued. Always keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to shoot. If your finger is on the trigger or in the trigger guard while reloading, moving, drawing, holstering, or clearing a malfunction, it could cause a negligent discharge. A good way to remember this is on target, on trigger, off target, off trigger. More safety rules. Always keep the gun unloaded until ready to use. If the gun is not your personal self-defense carry gun, it should be unloaded before it is moved to your vehicle. No loaded guns behind the firing line, that is, behind the shooters on the firing line. Only exception is in a holster on your body with the safety on if the gun has a safety. Safety rules. Always know your target and what lies beyond. You must always identify your target before you fire and know what lies beyond the target. Targets must be placed at a height that is appropriate for the distance of the target and the position of the shooter is using, prone, bench, or standing, so the bullet will impact one of the downrange berms. Personal protection equipment. Eye protection is required within 25 feet of the firing line. Firing line is a red line on the ground or the front of the shooting table's benches. Eye protection should be impact resistant. It should also cover the eyes so that things like hot brass cannot get to the eye from the side or top. Hearing protection is strongly recommended. Guns are loud, so please protect your hearing. Smoking, eating, and drinking. No smoking within 25 feet of the firing line. Due to unburnt powder, primer material, and other byproducts of shooting that can accumulate on you and your clothing, it is recommended no drinking or eating on the firing line. No alcoholic beverages allowed on the range. Hydration is very important. If you are thirsty, you are already dehydrated. Water is available in the RSO building. Please drink behind the shooting tables off the firing line. Range commands and conditions explained. Hot range. During hot range conditions, shooters may handle and shoot their firearms. Cold range. During cold range conditions, there is to be no handling or touching of firearms. Ceasefire. Firing must cease immediately and shooters must stand by for further commands. Hot range. Before calling the range or bay hot, ensure everyone on the bay or range is ready to go hot. Before calling hot range, verify no one is downrange. When the range is hot, handling of firearms is allowed. Firing may commence. Firearms on the shooting bench but not being used must have muzzles pointed downrange. Visually ensure that magazines are removed, actions bolts are open, and/or safety flags inserted into the chambers. No firearm is to have live ammunition in the chamber or a muzzle loader capped until the shooter is on the firing line. Exception: handguns may be carried loaded as long as they are safely retained in a holster on your person. All firearms not on the firing line must be made safe by having magazines removed, actions open, and/or chamber safety flags installed, or they must be in closed cases. Always shoot downrange, never cross range. No one is allowed in front of the firing line while the bay or range is hot. Cold range. Before calling the range or bay cold, ensure everyone on the bay or the range is ready to go cold. Anyone can request a cold range, but all must ensure the bay or range is really cold before going in front of the firing line. This is done as described above. All firearms that are on the shooting tables must be unloaded with the magazines removed, actions, bolts open, and/or safety flags inserted into the chambers. Every muzzle must be pointed downrange. All firearms not on the firing line must be made safe by having magazines removed, actions open, and/or safety flags installed, or they must be in closed cases. Exception: handguns that are safely retained in a holster on your person. However, they may not be handled during cold range conditions. No handling of firearms when the range is cold. Members may proceed downrange only after these safety conditions have been met. No handling of firearms when the bay or range is closed. Ceasefire. If any unsafe condition occurs, ceasefire is the command that can be used by anyone. Anytime you're uncomfortable with handling the gun, call ceasefire. Lots of reasons for this to happen. Firearm malfunction, unsafe conditions of others on the firing line, hot brass landing on your skin, under your shirt or blouse. Firing must cease immediately and shooters will wait for further commands. Who can call ceasefire? Anyone. Please remember, safety first. Moving your firearm to or from the bay or range you will be using. It is recommended that all firearms be in a case or holstered when they are being transported from your vehicle to the shooting bay or range and back to the vehicle. If your firearm is not in a case, you must point the muzzle up in the air, muzzle above your head while transporting the firearm. Be careful not to point the firearm at anyone while moving it from your vehicle to the bay or range. Before uncasing or casing your firearm, ensure it is pointed downrange. Open the action and ensure it is unloaded before placing the firearm on the table. You must assume that the bay or range where you will be shooting is in a hot range condition before transporting a firearm from your vehicle to a shooting bay. Have your safety glasses and recommended hearing protection on before walking within 25 feet of the shooting bay or range. Muzzleloader rules. Muzzleloaders will either be staged on shooting tables with the muzzle pointed downrange or staged vertically in the notches on the back bench. While moving from one position to another, rifles will be carried vertically with muzzle higher than the head of the tallest shooter. When staged vertically in the notches on the back bench, barrel cleaning swabbing is allowed during both cold and hot range. No open containers of gunpowder on the firing line. No smokeless powder will be mixed with black powder or Pyrodex at any time. Flintlock shooters must say flint up prior to firing during a hot range. This protects shooters shooting next to the flintlock shooters from flint and powder splatter. Targets. All targets must be set that the bullets that pass through the target or rounds that miss the target impact one of the berms. Allowed targets are paper, steel, or clay pigeons. Stands for paper or cardboard targets. You can bring your own stand or rent one from the ERGC RSO. Stands are also available for sale from the ERGC RSO. When using steel targets, metal splatter should always be considered. Minimum distance to set steel targets for handguns is 12 yards due to splatter. For rifles, it is 100 yards. Steel targets for use as rifle targets are available from the RSO. Cannot use armor-piercing or steel bullets. When done, please take all of your target stands with you. Shredded paper or cardboard targets go in the trash barrels. Targets. The club has a steel plate rack available for those looking for more of a challenge than shooting paper. Check the plate rack out through the RSO. There is a $10 per hour charge to cover maintenance. No armor-piercing or steel core ammo allowed to be used on the steel plates. No exploding targets, aluminum cans, plastic containers, glass, or shotgun shells are allowed as targets on any ERGC ranges or bays. Ammunition. No tracers or exploding ammunition allowed. Too great a chance of fire. Brass or shotgun hulls. Please pick up your brass, including 22 casings, and shotgun hulls and dispose of them. Buckets are provided to put unwanted shell casings into. Unwanted shotgun hulls go into the trash. If there are any dud rounds, please put those into the dud boxes on the bench behind the tables. Guest policies. Each member is allowed up to 2 guests per visit. Please check in all guests with the RSO. There is a $10 per person guest fee. Failure to return the guest badge incurs a $5 fee refundable upon return of the badge. Memberships include spouses and children under the age of 18. Children over the age of 18 are considered guests. ERGC approved instructors can bring more than 2 guests for instructional purposes. ERGC education and safety committees have rules that govern instruction at ERGC. Other ERGC shooting opportunities available. ERGC has concealed carry classes every other month. Check the ERGC calendar available in the RSO building or at the club's website, EscambiaRiverGunClub.org. Other instruction is available through members who are ERGC approved certified NRA instructors. Shooting disciplines available at ERGC are International Defensive Pistol Association, IDPA, Gun Goddesses, Action Cowboy or SASS, Single Action Shooting, Sport Shooting, Military Rifle, Black Powder Muzzleloading, Black Powder Cartridge. Our rules are designed to keep you and fellow shooters safe. All members are expected to help enforce range rules and must be prepared to issue range commands for all shooters when unsafe conditions occur or exist. Foul language is not expected or appreciated. It is our range, so please treat it as such. Please pick up after yourself and put trash in the trash barrels provided. ERGC RSOs are the acting range authority, and as such, their directions need to be obeyed for everyone's safety. Those not following the RSO's direction will be asked to leave the range. If required, the ERGC Board of Directors will determine necessary actions to maintain safety for all. This concludes the ERGC Range Safety Brief. Please bring any suggestions, questions, or concerns the RSO on duty are to any ERGC Board of Directors member. Having a safe, fun time at the range should be everyone's goal. Thank you for your attention.